Okay, so hopefully you've got all of the information you need to know about metals. Let's move on and get the last of our families talked about. So first of all, we've got these things called metalloids. Here is where they are on the periodic table. Again, be careful as you're coloring these. I know it's a funny shaped group, so be sure you're looking at the letters and coloring them in carefully. So the things I need you to know about metalloids, and again, remember, pause this video as you need to get your coloring done. So metalloids have some properties of metals and some of non-metals. So for instance, silicon is a good example where silicon is actually primarily what silly putty is made out of. So it is stretchy, it is malleable, it is ductile, but it doesn't, well, it kind of maybe has a little bit of luster, but it certainly is not conductive, all right? So that's where silicon is a metalloid because it has some properties like metals, but other properties of non-metals. Some of its properties are not like metals. So it's kind of halfway between metals and non-metals. And also, metalloids have varying numbers of valence electrons. All right. Let's talk about our non-metals. So there was only one metalloid group. There's a couple of different non-metal groups. The first one is halogens, and they are all the way over there on the, I guess, the right-hand side of the periodic table. Be careful not to color all the way down to the bottom to tennessine. Just these ones up here are our halogens. So these have 7 valence electrons, and they are highly reactive. So like chlorine, maybe you know about chlorine gas, that's mustard gas. Pretty bad for you to breathe in. So highly reactive elements there. Next up, we've got our noble gases. These are all the way over on the side of the periodic table. These are the ones with those full valence electron shells. Most of them have 8 valence electron except for helium, which only has 2. But again, that's column 18. Most of them have 18 valence electrons. Again, full valence electron shells. I'm repeating myself. These guys are very non-reactive. Now they're called noble, meaning like if someone is noble, they always do what is right. Basically, they don't fight. They don't react. If someone is gonna irritate them, whatever, they don't react to that. Well, noble gases are the same way. Very non-reactive. They very rarely form molecules, so noble gas atoms just tend to be on their own. They don't tend to bond with other things. So if you have like a tank of helium gas, all of those helium atoms are just single helium atoms. And then we have other nonmetals. There should be the word other here, but other nonmetals. And here they are. Don't forget about hydrogen over here. Hydrogen is a nonmetal, even though it's over here with where most of the metals are. It is a nonmetal in addition to these things here. This little chunk of the periodic table contains actually some of the most abundant elements in the universe. You may have heard humans referred to as carbon-based life forms. That's because we are primarily made of carbon and of oxygen and of nitrogen and of hydrogen and all these things. But carbon is one of the main things that makes us up, actually. Now, again, I'm not going to play this video within the video, but it is an interesting video if you want to watch it. You can probably search, again, this title on YouTube if you're interested. It just kind of highlights how tiny atoms are and how abundant these particular ones are in our universe. Okay, so hopefully this right here is what your periodic table looks like on your notes. Again, colors don't matter. I don't care what color you made things, as long as all the colors match up properly with the family names, you're good to go. So that is what I need you to know about the families of the periodic table.